And just as a little told you so moment about what time to get here and avoiding crowds, check this out. I knew it. I know what stinky tofu smells like when I smell it, and that's it right there. 这个是我的电话号码吗? Hey, it's Tom from Red Dragon Diaries. I want to thank you for watching this video. I'm here at Lashan, giant Buddha statue, and if there's one thing that I've learned about Buddha statues or anything that is worthwhile checking out, you gotta climb up a lot of stairs. So just get used to that. You're gonna have to be in shape to come visit Lashan Buddha, giant Buddha. So interestingly enough, you have to walk up to the top of the Buddha mountain, to the very head of Buddha. But if you want to get different shots and different angles, you got to walk back down. And there's a huge queue for that. Almost like a Disney setup. I'm here bright and early at the panda breeding base. Hopefully I can get a glimpse of the feeding time of the little pandas. If there's one thing I've learned in China, is that Chinese people do not play around. The park hasn't even opened yet, and the lines are just astronomical. So the good news is, all I have to do is get into this short line here in order to buy tickets. It shouldn't take too long. That was absolute pandemonium waiting in line. That's one of the worst experiences I've had to endure waiting in line. That was intense. It's like a mosh pit. Red panda right there. I'm assuming red pandas have no violent nature about them because this is just wide open. So if they decided that they wanted to take a bite out of my ear, they could do that. They're like these islands that they've kind of dug a moat around between where the spectators come, the visitors come, and where the pandas live. And you can see here they dig these trenches. So, and I'm assuming, I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, but there are these wires. I'm assuming they're electric, and I guess that's what keeps the visitors safe. And as you can see, at 8 o'clock in the morning, there are a lot of visitors. Those pandas are practicing judo. It's randori time in the panda island. This is what it really looks like, but I had my hand way above it. But you come to a place like this, you're going to be fighting crowds like you've never seen before. Only if we understand can we care. Only if we care will we help. Only if we help shall they be saved, by Jane Goodall. Right? Okay, you want me to give you a little bit of advice that's contrary to popular belief? After having traveled to many different countries, the big cities, the big tourist attractions through Asia, East Asia, Southeast Asia, places like that, your logic would say, get there early, beat the crowds. Well, everybody's thinking that way. And so the crowds are there trying to beat the crowds. once you let about the first blitz of when the gates open, once you let that go by for about an hour, you're going to find that it just dissipates, and then it's just normal, leisurely enjoyment of that tourist attraction. It doesn't matter where you go. That's been my experience. The smart people are actually taking buses. But me, I like to do things the hard way and sweat to death. You want to see some more pandas? They're eating a Klondike bar. Hey there, little red panda. What you eating? A gourd. Red pandas and giant pandas are not in the same family. I just learned something. Apparently, giant panda looks like it's in the same family as other bears. Polar bear, brown, black bears. But over here he's in a league of his own. Done. Okay. And just as a little told you so moment about what time to get here and avoiding crowds, check this out. I was way off. Okay, next I'm going to the Wenshu Yuan Monastery. Wenshu Yuan Monastery, and it's about 1 kilometer from me. And so to get there, I'm going to get one of these rental bikes right here. Now, the one that I have an account for back in Dongguan are these blue bikes. I'm going to take that hot rod right there. Now, the way this works is, you can see this QR code right there. I just scan that. I just hit the accept button. Boom. And we're in business. I'm not actually going to film while I'm on the bike. Number one, because I don't want to die. And number two, I have to follow the map. Okay, I lied. Because I want to show you this. In Chengdu, they have this set up really nice. They've got the main lanes for the cars. As you can see, 3 lanes there. And then they've got this side highway system going here for scooters that honk their horn at you like that, and for bikes. And it makes it, they've got this solid divider here, and it just makes it very safe, so there's no crazy daredevils trying to get out on the street. These guys on their e-bikes are kind of crazy, and you can't really hear them because they're mostly e-bikes. So I think this is pretty cool, and they got this all throughout the city. Now, from what I understand of what I've read, I believe this is the oldest. No, this is the main monastery for Buddhism in this province, or something along those lines. So, in terms of Buddhism, it's a critical location. Now, obviously, if you follow my channel, you know I'm not a follower of Buddhism, but I do like to visit these locations. It's a part of the culture in which I live, or to which I travel. And a lot of these temples and monasteries and things like that are set up not just as a place for worship, but also kind of evoke like tranquility and that type of feeling. I'm also pretty proud of myself because we have to sign in at the door, and I got to use some of my newfound Mandarin skills. When you sign in, you got to leave your information, and I said to the guy, I said, 这个是我的电话号码吗? Which I believe, not I believe, but it's very close to saying, is this my phone number? Which I can't read it, so I didn't know if it said phone number or not. And he just looked over and said, yeah. It's like, oh, he understood. That's a pretty awesome looking building right there. It doesn't matter how you cut the cake. That's pretty impressive. One thing you might notice or conclude is that the styling is reminiscent of the structures that you're going to see in Korea. And much of that has to do with, well, two main reasons would be Korea is, for lack of better words, offspring of China and carries with it a lot of characteristics culturally that have been changed and watered down over the years and decades as it's been its own sovereign state. But also in Korea, Buddhism is still widely practiced. And so that's why you're going to see a lot of the buildings share the same features and decorations, although not quite as bright and shiny as they are in Korea. Although a lot of that has to do with attracting tourism. You want it to be sparkly and crispy clean. And Korea does a good job at that. You know, whenever I go travel and I go to these shrines or monasteries or temples, I always feel you should always be kind of sensitive to the fact that, look, regardless of what you or I believe in, this is their place of worship or a representation of their place of worship. So you saw right back there, the woman was doing her thing. I didn't want to just kind of pop in there and be like, hey, I'm going to take a picture. That would be like if you were at church, like an old Baptist church or something like that, and someone walks in and they're like, they go up to the organist and they're like, excuse me a minute, excuse me, I see you got a pipe organ here. You mind if I just jump in there and play some Billy Joel? Again, there's no photography inside the hall allowed, so I'll take a shot outside here. I probably dated myself a little bit there on the Billy Joel comment. Probably should have said like Ed Sheeran or something like that. For the younger crowd out there, I gotta tell you, now that I'm here riding around on this rental bike, Chengdu is absolutely, positively 100% conducive and promoting of bicycle use in their city. This little highway thing is the first that I've seen of it. Maybe I'm missing it in like Shanghai or whatnot, but like in my city, it's every man for himself. I mean, there's nothing like this. This makes it so you just want to get out on your bike because you can just ride freely and carefree. You have full access to go anywhere you want. I mean, everything is laid out here road-wise for cyclists. And these guys here on the e-bikes, like what I got back home too. Also, I can't find an example for you, but make sure this guy doesn't run me over. In the middle of intersections, you know, they have these little islands that pedestrians stand on while they're waiting for the light. Well, if you're on a bicycle, you gotta hop up on the curb, or like in my city, even the lowered ramp part, like you see that little step up that's lowered like that, they're many times carelessly put together, so there's a huge lip, and you gotta take that thing real slow. But here in Chengdu, those islands are completely flat. Now, I can see that being a problem too, because I could see people turning into like total psychopaths on their bicycles, especially the e-bikes. I mean, these e-bike drivers are definitely aggressive. They'll run you over. I gotta find out where I am. I'm heading in the right direction. Alright, this is what I've come to grow accustomed to for touristy places. This is Wuhou Shrine. Need something refreshing. It's either going to be this grape or this Chinese brand of athletic drink. I'm going to go for the grape. Ta-da! Grape juice. Alright, let's get this show on the road. That was a strange situation. This is like one of the top travel attractions in this city. I don't know if the machines were broken or whatnot, but apparently they were not accepting WeChat. They were only accepting cash. Who carries cash around with them? Especially in China, where everything is digital, everything is WeChat. Well, I happened to walk across the street, found a guy at the bank who did a personal favor. He used his WeChat to accept money from me, and then he went into the bank and took out the cash for me. So that's kind of part of the good news. The other good news is they stopped selling tickets. I was like the last ticket sold, maybe 2 other people after that. Why is that good? Because I'm going to wait about 5 minutes and then there's going to be like nobody here. It's going to be really subtle and quiet and nice. So something that's unique to China travel, at least that I've seen, is at many of the major travel attractions all throughout the country, they sell these commemorative silver-plated or gold-plated coins. I think I don't think you could even measure the amount of gold on them. I've purchased a few of these at some of the places that I've gone to, and I'm going to do the same here. Boom. There it is. Little commemorative coin. I've got probably 4 or 5 of these things that I bought at some of the places around. I don't always see them, but when I do, I try to grab them. It's just kind of a cool part of travel in China. So this is like a military leader shrine. I don't know all the super details. I'm not a history buff, but you can look it up if you want to. But I'm one of those travelers that likes to show up. I like to look at things, the architecture, the artwork, and just have the opportunity to say that I was there. And we're there. This is a very large shrine. At the sign back there said this is 3 Sworn Brothers temple or shrine, and I know that means 3. Same in Japanese, obviously. 1, 2, 3. All right. This is a very popular place to visit, based on the feedback on TripAdvisor and Google. Every traveler is different, everybody has different tastes. It's not really my cup of tea. Basically what this is it's like a fair, a permanent fair. These little shops selling their goods. It's bright, it's shiny. I'm coming here a little bit before sundown just because I want to make sure that my camera picks it up nice and clear. I think, and I really don't want to sound snobbish or whatever like that, and I know it's going to sound that way anyway, but I think as a person travels more and kind of sees the tourist areas versus the non-tourist areas, you're going to immediately see a place like this, which is very common in China. These types of areas, you go to Shanghai, you have these types of streets and whatnot, and they're not really going to be attractive to you. But if you're new or if you don't travel much, you're going to see this and say, oh, look at the culture. And while it is interesting and fun, and a lot of the stuff is representative of local activities and crafts and culture and things like that, it is strategically placed right outside of one of the very popular tourist attractions here in Chengdu.
终以千秋大英雄，各路豪杰来参拜，武有财神显了灵，看到没有？官儿也显灵了，神气不神气？看，又没有了。托黑豹，
I think
复
behind that
命
is a
强
little
国，
puppet show.
保江山，看到没有？
I would do it, but I
猎
don't
豹骑着
understand
猛虎
what
来
they're
了，
saying.
神
But I
气
think
不
that's
神
what it
气？
is. It's a puppet show. Cool. I knew it. I know what stinky tofu smells like when I smell it, and that's it right there. Stinky tofu. If you haven't tried it before, you don't know what you're missing out on. I don't know how to say it in a nice way, but stinky tofu kind of smells like halitosis. But I ate it in Taiwan, and if you put stuff on it and it's crispy, it's actually not too bad. So what this is they're actually having their ears cleaned by somebody, a professional earwax cleaner. I'm more thirsty than anything, and this little shop here is making these little juices, dragon fruit, honeydew, cantaloupe, all these, watermelon, pineapple. That's a huge mango right there. Look at the size of that mango. Anyway, I'm gonna get one of these juices because that's gonna hit the spot. Well, I ended up getting watermelon juice. And let me tell you something, it hits the spot. It's hot out here and the airflow is very low because all these shops are blocking off the airflow. Anyway, tonight is my last night in Chengdu. I gotta go back to my hotel and get ready for my flight tomorrow morning. You know, these things to do videos are so saturated on YouTube and the internet, and every article is best things to do, and I think it's just saturated, and I don't think there's really a place for them anymore. So I thought I'd try a more personal format like this. I hope you enjoyed it. These are just the things that I showed here are just a few of many things that you can see in Chengdu. But I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed walking through each of them with me, and I appreciate you watching. I hope you hit the like button, and I'll see you in the next video. This is Tom from the Red Dragon Diaries. Peace.